All right, welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. We'll be covering 4 different topics. The first topic is going to be about Mookie Betts moving to shortstop for the Los Angeles Dodgers. The second topic will be about just recapping some spring training games on the ones that happened today. When I'm recording this, it is Friday. When the video's out, it'll probably be Saturday, but I'm not sure. Just to let you know, so it is the games for today. Joey Votto signing with the Toronto Blue Jays, and finally some news around the league. So now, before we do that, I would like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read on the air, please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show. It really does mean a lot. So thank you so much for that. And let's get on to the show today. So let's get it out of the way first. I did not live stream today. Usually I live stream every day, 3:30 to 4:30, but today, Monday, I'm not able to, so I'm just going to be doing a recording instead, so getting content out there for you guys, but not doing it live like usual. So today, it's going to be the same thing usually, just as usual, just a little bit different, because I am not live streaming, so might be some changes with that, but overall, still the same good content that you guys expect. So we're going to get straight into it. Just telling you guys that so you expect, so you know what happened today and you expect what's going to happen with Monday as well. But then Tuesday on, it should be regular goings from there. Let's get into our first segment, which I did talk about, which is Mookie Betts and the news that he is moving permanently for now. Let's preface the for now to shortstop for the Los Angeles Dodgers. My thoughts on this news are that it is kind of surprising. Mookie Betts has experience at shortstop, but he's not known for playing shortstop. You could say the same thing about second base for him, that he's not known for being a second baseman. He's known for being an outfielder, but he did say second base a lot for the Red Sox in the start of his career. He came up through the minors, second baseman, so he has more experience there. Yes, he has played shortstop in the MLB. He has played for the Dodgers as well. Some good time there, but it's not really like a position he's super comfortable at. I'm sure he'll do fine because he's a great athlete. He's one of the best players in baseball. But it's still kind of, a little bit of a crazy thing that he's moving to shortstop, even if it wasn't crazy enough that he was moving to second. Why this move made sense for the Dodgers, first of all, I think it's pretty clear, kind of what the reports have been. I'm not sure if Dave Roberts actually said it, but it's just what the reports have been as well, really, which is that it's mainly about Gavin Lux. So Gavin Lux obviously had a freak injury last year in spring training, was out for the entire season, and because of that, they didn't really have a shortstop, the Dodgers. They had fill-in guys there like Miguel Vargas, like Miguel Rojas, who was the real main one. So when they got Gavin Lux back this year from that injury, they probably assumed he was going to be their shortstop. He was going to be the guy to hold down that position and be the guy there long-term, most likely. But they apparently haven't been very impressed with him at camp, specifically his defense. They don't think his defense can really hold up in a major league environment. And because of that, he is getting replaced, simply put. Now, he's getting replaced by one of the better players in baseball, so it's not like it's horrible, but you still don't want to lose your job. He is moving a second, so they're swapping him and Mookie, which is obviously why Mookie's moving to short. So, obviously the Dodgers didn't trust Gavin Lux's defense. They obviously still do trust his bat, though, because he's staying in the lineup at second. It's kind of a big indictment on him that they're moving a guy who played outfield last year to be their full-time shortstop over him. I don't think it's a great sign for him. Obviously, not the start you want to have coming off a season where he didn't play at all. So not great, in my opinion. But, hopefully he can rebound. Hopefully he can have his future as a second baseman. And hopefully he can finally live up to that potential because, I remember a few years ago, Gavin Lux was going to be like the it prospect. He was the guy. He was the guy that every team wanted when they make blockbuster trades with the Dodgers. When I thought Lindor was going to get traded to the Dodgers, I thought Gavin Lux was going to be a big part of the deal. I think a lot of Dodgers fans expected Gavin Lux to be in Cleveland with that. Even going past, obviously it looks crazy in hindsight now, but back when Felipe Vasquez was a top closer for the Pirates before he was revealed for who he really is and now is in prison, he was a huge trade candidate, and it was rumored that the Dodgers had to give up either Gavin Lux or Dustin May, and they didn't want to give up Gavin Lux for him, and a lot of people thought they were crazy at the time because they thought that was the piece to get them over the top, winning the World Series. So yeah, Gavin Lux has been in a lot of trade rumors for his whole career. He's been known as a top prospect for a long, long time, and just hasn't lived up to it simply. He's not been a bad player, but you look at the expectations he's had on him his entire career, he definitely hasn't lived up to him. I don't think that's saying anything crazy at all. So I think maybe him moving to second, having some continuity there, having less pressure on him for defense, maybe he'll focus on hitting more. He'll become a more rounded player, a better player overall, and that's really all you can hope if you're a Dodgers fan. You hope Gavin Lux finds his home there at second. You hope that he can become the guy you always wanted there. So yeah, it's really all you gotta hope right now for the Dodgers and Gavin Lux for what he's gonna do there. Also, how does this affect the Dodgers going forward with Mookie moving to short and Gavin Lux moving to second? Now, what I would say to that is I don't expect Mookie to be the shortstop for long. There's one guy I'm looking at, and I think a lot of fans have pointed to it already, and I think that makes a lot of sense for who it is, as a guy who could replace Mookie or help Mookie out, and so he wouldn't have to be there. And to me, it's clear as day that the Dodgers at some point are going to have to trade for Willy Adames. So Willy Adames, obviously the shortstop for the Brewers. In my preseason predictions, which actually maybe I'll go over one day for a segment. I think that'll be pretty fun to see what happened, what I did with my preseason predictions. Obviously, I wasn't on GSMC at the time, so it was just for fun. So yeah, maybe I'll go over that, but that's another thing. But I had him and Corbin Burnes being traded in a package to LA, which I along with a lot of other people thought made sense. Obviously, it didn't end up happening. Corbin Burnes got traded to Baltimore, and Willy Adames stayed put. But Willy Adames, in my opinion, then made so much sense for the Dodgers, and now makes even more sense for the Dodgers. I mean, first of all, you need a shortstop. That's the obvious thing. Mookie's great, but you saw today the first ball that was hit to him at short in a spring training game was not an error, but a badly played ball. So I just don't think he's a long-term shortstop. I don't know where you'd play him. I would assume he probably goes back to second or plays in the outfield. You have Teoscar Hernandez, Jason Hayward, Chris Taylor, James Outman, guys like that, but we don't know what the injuries are going to look like and stuff like that. We don't know who's going to perform and who's not going to perform. So I think that's something you can worry about later. But I think right now the biggest weakness on the Dodgers, and you could argue their only weakness because of simply how good they are, is that they need a real shortstop. And I think Willy Adames can fit in that. He's not a great player. Like, he's a good player, but he's not a great player. Didn't have the best season last year. Was great when he originally came over from the Rays to the Brewers, but since then has just kind of been mediocre. But I think, as the Dodgers have proven time and time again, if there's any team that can get the most out of a player who's just kind of mediocre, it is definitely the Dodgers. They know how to do these things. They're absolute masters at it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the Dodgers, regains that first half form with the Brewers that he had in, I believe, 2021. So I think that would make a lot of sense. And I think it would just give you a real shortstop, because if you're going into the playoffs and you're having Mookie Betts play defense at short, I don't know how comfortable you'd be with that. Again, he's not a bad shortstop defender, but he's not a shortstop, simply put. He's a second baseman. He's an outfielder. He's simply not a shortstop at this point in his career. And I think Willy Adames makes so much more sense now to fill in at shortstop, and he has a lot of connections to the team. The first reason why he's in trade rumors is we don't think the Brewers are going to be that good, and he's on an expiring contract. So what does that mean? It means that he's probably going to be traded. If you're on an expiring contract, you're a good player on a bad team. You can argue the Brewers aren't that bad, but they're not good. I can tell you that right now. So I definitely think it makes a lot of sense for him to be traded. And I would look at the Dodgers definitely as a team that is going to be looking for that. The reasons why, Andrew Friedman, back when he was with the Rays, traded for Willy Adames to be part of the organization, always saw something in him. So I think that is something that, Andrew Friedman obviously has a connection there to Willy Adames. Has liked him in the past. They've shown interest in him in the past as well. And now, especially with them needing a shortstop, which they have needed for a few years now. I mean, really, since you let Corey Seager walk, and then, you let Trey Turner walk, you had Miguel Rojas last year, and, since then, which was last year, only 1 year, to be fair to them, you haven't had that good of a shortstop. And it's kind of surprising because the Dodgers, we think of this, they're all this almighty entity, this almighty team that can't be beat with their super rotation, all the bats they've added, their bullpen that, they just develop pitchers out of their ass, really. I don't know if I could say that, but oh well. Yeah, it's, you don't really think of them having a lot of weak spots, but I think having a real shortstop is one of the things that is a weak spot. Again, Mookie Betts, one of the best players in baseball, but he's simply not a shortstop. I think getting a real shortstop there would help that team a lot, help the defense a lot, help the overall team a lot, and I would look at it as something that can happen. Maybe not maybe not Willie Adames, but maybe some other guys as well who are developed at the deadline, who play shortstop, play second base, something like that. So we'll definitely keep an eye on for that. And I think even if it's not Willie Adames, I think a shortstop or a middle infielder as well definitely is a need for the Dodgers going forward into the season, and will probably be addressed at the trade deadline now, especially with the not a real big vote of confidence for Gavin Lux moving him off shortstop. So we're going to just an overall outlook for the Dodgers in the NL. I think they're easily the best team in the NL and probably the best team in baseball, just simply on paper, which always take a grain of salt. But at this point right now, we have to look at this on paper because of where we are in the season. I think that is, again, there's really not many holes in this team. Obviously, it's shortstop, which we just talked about for a whole segment, but I mean, the rotation, you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, you have Walker Buehler, you have Tyler Glasnow, Emmett Sheehan, Bobby Miller. The bullpen's incredible as well. Evan Phillips, closing it down to the end. And all these middle relief guys were just really good. The lineup, I mean, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Gavin Lux, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez, Jason Hayward, James Outman, Chris Taylor, Shohei Ohtani. Like, just an insane team that is absolutely incredible. That is the best team in the NL, best team in the league for a reason. They spent that money for a reason, and they're just so good. Now, I think there are some downsides with this team. I think the big one you have to look at is the pitching staff. I do think there's a good amount of risk on the pitching staff that not a lot of fans are kind of realizing. I mean, Yamamoto's going to be a question mark just simply because it is his first season coming over. Now, I don't think it should be a problem for him. I still think he's going to be very good. But, injuries are a concern because of the new pitching schedule. Performance is an issue, something to worry about. I wouldn't worry about it. I think he's phenomenal, but because it is his first season coming over from an entirely new league, I think it is something you have to worry about. Walker Buehler's coming back from 2 full seasons out with injury, so that's obviously a risk. Tyler Glasnow's been injured a lot in his career. Bobby Miller has been. Bobby Miller's a rookie, so you don't really know what you're getting in him. Same with Emmett Sheehan. James Paxton, who I forgot to mention before, another guy with injury risk, so much so that the money in his contract was taken down because he failed his physical. So as much as the Dodgers are incredible, and I'm not trying to downplay them at all, there are some risks you have to look for when evaluating this team. So I just wanted to get that out there. But still, an amazing team, easily the best team in the NL, and I definitely think they could help with getting a real shortstop. Maybe a guy like Willie Adames, who I've said this entire time, obviously. But overall, still a fine move to move Mookie Betts shortstop. I'm not entirely complaining. So, that's our first segment here. We're going to move on to our second segment, which is going to be about spring training recap. Because I am recording this so late at night, because I'm not live streaming, I do have the unique opportunity of having to know that every single game is done for spring training, so I can talk about them in full. I think there's one game that's still going on, but it's close enough to being finished anyways, and I'm recording this at 11 o'clock at night, so if it's not finished now, it's not going to be finished today. So we'll go to a break, but then we'll talk about that. So thanks.